Okay, so with one of your hands, place it on your head like this. Good.
If you got really cool hair like me and you don't want to mess it up, you can keep it over here. It's all good.
Okay, so I want you to go like this, like you're opening a door. Excellent, excellent. Okay, now I want you to, I'm gonna have to do this with two hands, so I'm gonna work it out, but with one hand out here, I want you to take your other hand and I want you to tap it like it's your touch screen. Boop. Perfect. Nice. You guys are pros. Nice. This is easy. Okay. Now that I've got all of your guys' attention, we're pumped up and we're ready to go and we've got it. I want everybody to close their eyes. Get real quiet for a second.
Need the clicker?
Take a couple deep breaths. Don't worry, nobody's looking at you. I'm not even looking at you. Hold it. You have to do the clicker.
There you go.
Okay, everybody with their eyes closed, this is what I want you to do, okay? We're gonna do this exercise to get us ready for all the good stuff we're gonna learn today. So, take that hand you had on your head and put it back on. And I want you to open it up, just like a door, and I want you to leave it open. We're opening up our minds to the ideas, the information, the possibilities, and all the wonderful things that could be really helpful for you today. So it's nice and open. Good, good. I peeked around, looks like you guys are doing it. With the other hand, or with your hand, rather than tapping your hand, what I want you to do is tap your heart. I want you to activate your heart, open it up, get ready. There's usually either something that's going to hit you in the heart or something that's going to come in your thoughts that really makes a difference. You want to make sure the heart's activated and the mind's open, ready to go.
Yes.
So, without further ado, I would like to tell you guys a little bit about our walk.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So, as you guys can see up there, we walked a lot, a whole lot. This journey, which I invited my husband on, we had $145, 2 backpacks full of stuff, and a dream to walk across the United States for the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And somehow, we ended up making it out to Georgia, hitchhiking, getting rides, taking a bus, all the way out to Georgia. But we weren't planning on hitchhiking our way across, we were planning on walking. So once we were there, we had to get ready to carry those packs 3,000 miles from one ocean to the other. If you could imagine, that's pretty scary. Where do you sleep at night? Where does the food come from? You can't carry that much food. By the time we got to Georgia, I think we had about 45 bucks. That's not gonna last very long. We thought it would take us 4 or 5 months to walk all the way across America. We got a big surprise when it took 15. Could you imagine walking for an entire year and then some? Do you think your feet would hurt?
You're right.
They did in the beginning. We got used to it, right?
You got them warrior feet, that's why. I get it. Okay.
So, the only thing that we really felt like we had available to us was a bunch of tools we learned in a setting kind of like this, where there was a speaker and an audience. And the things that they taught us were the things that we used when we were scared about not finding food, or we weren't sure where we were going to sleep, or we were trying to figure out how to get water, or our shoes fell apart and we had to get new ones. We would do the things that we're going to share with you guys today, and that was how we made it not only across America, but also through me getting pregnant, bringing in a little baby boy, and as you can see in the picture up there, and a couple of the pictures up there, he was carried the rest of the journey, 600 miles to our finish line. So the first 3 months of his life, he was right here, and we had to overcome everything to make sure he even had diapers. So Colton is going to give us kind of our baseline and our intro to our minds.
Awesome, thank you. So, yes, you can take this. We're just gonna jump right in, because this information was brought to me and shared with me at an event I went to almost 10 years ago, and the information has just changed my life. And so I'm gonna have to move kind of quickly because we have a short time. Buckle your seatbelts, get ready. This is absolutely just, I'm so glad and honored that we're here to be able to share this information with you. You guys, I wish I had known this at your age, but I'm glad I at least learned it when I did. The thing that I want to start off with is sharing with you guys something that is in our brain. It is called the reticular activating system, also known as
The RAS filter.
That's the easier way to Google it if you want to geek out and get into sciencey stuff like me. So, yeah, it is located, as you see, right there on the little RAS that points right to the bottom of the brainstem. What happens is, see the little ear and the eyes, we take in information through our ears, through our eyes, we're hearing, auditory.
Through our senses.
There you go, right through the senses, and it goes through that filter and then depicts what information is important to pay attention to. So, yep, this is the three functions of the reticular activating system in our brain. It is, one, wakefulness. It's the thing that when your alarm goes off in the morning, you go, oh my gosh, I'm awake now. It's the thing that wakes you up and triggers you that it's important to get up and go. Or if you hear a loud noise, or one of my little helper dudes over here earlier heard the microphone about to roll off the stage, and he triggered and knew, like, is alertness and wakeness. And the next is focus. What we focus on, what we pay attention to, and this all is in regards to focusing on the things that are deemed necessary for survival. Based on your environment and how you're brought up, your brain is going to be taught to focus on different things and notice different things, and which is right to our next and last part of what the reticular activating system does, which is our fight or flight. It activates our fight or flight system. So for example, say thousands of years ago, you are going out there and you're about to do your little gathering for your tribe, and all of a sudden you see a tiger. That activates, that information you see triggers your mind to send the chemistry to create the chemicals, the emotions, the adrenaline and things you need to run away, to fight, and to protect yourself. So you're not going to notice as you're running from this tiger, right, that there's like little green bushes and pretty little flowers. Those are not relevant for this situation. However, take that same scenario, take the tiger out, and now we've got the gatherer that's getting the plants and the roots and the things to gather to take back to the tribe. They're going to notice all the little details that they didn't notice before because their fight or flight system is not activated. So these are the three main functions of the reticular activating system. So there's our baseline.
So this system is the way that you see the world. This is the system that tells you what's important for you to notice. It's like when a new song comes out and it's epic and it's super good, and suddenly you start noticing, oh, this person's playing it on their phone, I can hear it. Oh, this person has it on their screen, I can see it. Your brain is picking that up because you have deemed it important. And so then that's what it picks up.
Like your parents get a new car, you notice that car everywhere. You get some new shoes or an outfit, and all of a sudden you start seeing it in places. It's that important. It's information that gets through the RAS filter, is deemed important, and you begin to notice. So
once it gets through, Colton, what happens?
Well, once it gets through, then the first thing that we have are our thoughts. We have thoughts about what we see around us, and then our thoughts turn into feelings. After we think a certain way about our environment or our situation, then it produces the feeling and the emotion that we have about this situation or the environment or the experience that we're thinking about. Either it's happening now or imagining it, or we're reflecting on the past. You can still feel the emotions and anxieties from the past or something projecting the future. So that's why it's so powerful to think about that. So after we have our thinking about the situation, then we move to our feelings. And then based off of how we feel, then that shows and depicts how we act, how we behave. So
It sends signals into your body. So what happens is after you get feelings, the feelings come from the chemistry that's released. You have the thoughts. Your thoughts say, oh, this is really super awesome. I'm so excited. Boom. Pumps that excited chemistry into your body. That's what you're feeling. And then suddenly you're acting excited. You're like, yes, here I am.
And then, based on how we act, that really decides the experience that we have.
Totally.
This is all.
I could be super nervous up here and be like, hi guys, how's it going?
And shy and have a scared little experience. Or we could say,
Or I could
this is
be
awesome.
so excited to be up here, so excited to talk to you guys, and I could have big energy like this.
So just like a little example of seeing this cycle all come together. My mom's up here, and she's super awesome for coming to support us. And yes,
Yeah.
woo, thank
Give
you.
Mom a hand.
Mother's
Woo!
support, right? You guys are awesome. This is incredible. So this is perfect. I love that this example came, that she's able to hear it, because I hope she gets a kick out of it. So imagine this has maybe happened to one of you guys, or maybe it's happened to a little sibling or an older sibling or a friend. But imagine, so you're hanging out at your house, maybe you're doing homework, or maybe you're playing one of your favorite games, or talking to a friend on the phone, and your mom says, hey, I'm cooking dinner. Can you go to the pantry and get the spare ketchup? And there's two ways we could go about this. Let's go, number one. Man, I'm playing a game, or I'm hanging out with my friend. Like, why do I
get a high score.
Yeah, I'm on like a streak on my game or whatever. Why, Mom? Like, I'm just trying to hang out, and why do I have to go get the ketchup? And all right, fine, I'll go get the ketchup, but it's not gonna be there. Probably not gonna be there. And then you're thinking that you're feeling a little bit grumpy, a little bit disdain for going to have to grab it. You're kind of acting a little huffy and puffy, so you see your thoughts spiraling to like the way you're feeling about it, behaving a little bit grumpy and sassy, and then what happens? You stand in there.
I knew it wouldn't be there.
Mom, it's not here. I don't see the ketchup anywhere. It's just not here.
In walks Mom.
What is that? The ketchup.
That ketchup?
It's been there the whole time. So, yeah, this is of course a fun, silly little example, but this is just one little example to show how our thoughts can really change and put a filter on what we're able to see around us. Even if it's just the ketchup, it could be right in front of you. I don't know how many times I went to grab something in the fridge and I could not find it. Mom come walking in, and it's right there, 10 times out of 10.
It wasn't there 5 minutes ago.
I don't know how I got there. So,
where in your life could your thoughts be blocking you from seeing more of what could be there, or in the case of the ketchup, what's actually there? So, I know your teacher said to put your phones away. If you have one and you'd like to, take a picture of this slide. And my challenge for you is to go home after you've gotten the rest of our good tidbits, and I want you to see and evaluate for yourself where you might be blocked, that you can't see what's really going on.
cool. So what we have found is generally there's two ways to go. There's levels to each of these two ways, but generally there's two ways that we can go about our life. So we love to use this analogy and this metaphor for being stuck in the mud, meaning you are somewhere and you want to be somewhere else. You want to be out of the mud. So there's mainly two approaches, and I think the best way to tell this would be just kind of reflect on our trek when we were, let's jump back to Illinois. We were out for 3 or 4 months at this point. We kind of had become accustomed to the walk. Our feet weren't as sore.
We got used to figuring out where we were sleeping every night because it was always different.
It started to just happen. People started to just invite us in, or we'd find a place, and we just started to learn to trust the process. And there was one night where we were about to head into the mountains. It was very long and windy roads. The houses were very, very far between.
There was no cell service.
None. It was like the biggest space of no cell service on the whole trip.
There were lots, and I mean lots, of very big protective dogs.
You ever seen farm dogs? Like they're like this tall, and they're all chasing us out on the roads. It was a scary night, and finally we had arranged before we went and lost cell service. We had prior arrangements for someone to come pick us up, take us to their home to reside for the night, and then take us back to our spot where we landed to continue our trek across the United States.
So, if you can imagine, hiking through the mountains can be kind of tough. It's a little bit different than just casually walking down the side of the road. It took longer than we expected. It was way harder than we expected because our bodies were a little bit roughed up from a couple days earlier when we walked our longest day on our entire walk.
Just under 28 miles.
So, we're tired, it's super late, we finally get cell service. I'm texting the person who's gonna come get us, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna come rescue us. I'm gonna sleep in a bed. I might get to shower. They'll probably feed me, and all will be good in the world. It's okay that my feet hurt. It's okay that I'm crying. It's okay. But when we finally did get a hold of those people, they go, oh, you're by Hamburg. Perfect. You'll be just fine for the night.
That's a safe town. Okay.
What? What?
So we had this opportunity to go stay, and then all of a sudden it was just taken completely away from us. Now we were just sitting under the Hamburg sign in this town we've never been in.
So, a town that we couldn't even see yet because we hadn't walked all the way there. So if you could imagine, it's 11 o'clock at night. It's like August, September, so the nights are like getting a little bit chilly. We're really close to the Mississippi River, which if you guys know your geography, you'll know it's a very big river. What comes with big rivers?
Big bugs.
Lots of bugs. I heard somebody say mosquitoes over there. Yes, lots of bugs. Too many bugs. All the bugs.
So all night long, good times, just laying on the wet grass on an angle.
Oh yeah, the grass was like this.
We have to back
down.
up. We have to back up for just a moment. And when we got this news, we had started to build our evidence and start to really lean into the trust that life was going to take care of us. We were going to be okay. And then all of a sudden in this moment, when we were thrown off, we were tired, we had a lot of things going on, we had a scary walk, we finally get out, and then we didn't have anywhere to stay. And so we started thinking, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, what's going on? What are we going to do? This is horrible.
I started wondering, is it my fault? Could I have planned this better? Could I have communicated better? Did I
Probably.
Maybe, yes.
Maybe. But here we were, nonetheless.
These are the thoughts.
Then we started, after these thoughts started to spiral, the feelings of grumpiness, sassy, we were angry, we fought with each other.
I was not very nice.
I was not very nice, we were mean. We finally just laid down on a 45-degree angle on the grass and slept either
terribly.
Just fighting the bugs, getting wet on the grass.
Freezing a little bit in that morning frost.
So, ended up having nasty thoughts, started feeling pretty nasty to each other and ourselves, acting really mean, and then we had a really crappy experience. Like, what do you know?
Really crappy.
So
yeah. Let's fast forward through our trek a little bit. Let's go to Idaho. I'm now like super pregnant, like 6, 7 months pregnant. It's Idaho in the middle of winter. We're walking down the side of the road. We also have arranged a host for that night. Walking along, no big deal, everything's groovy, and I get a phone call. Can anybody guess what the call was about?
Somewhere in there.
I think I heard somebody say it. So if you guessed it, our host canceled. Oh my gosh. So this was really interesting. So the circumstances for this specific scenario should have been worse, right? I'm really pregnant. We've got a baby to think of now. And it's winter in Wyoming, or excuse me, winter in Idaho. And if any of you guys know what winter in Idaho is like, you are right, it is freezing. So.
And we didn't have any camping gear either.
So that's not a really great idea for me to be outside with the baby, right? So all things point to I should be more scared of this situation than all the bugs in Illinois, right? Maybe? So, I'm on the phone. This really lovely lady, really lovely mom goes, I'm so sorry. My kids are sick. If you really need us to host you, we will. They're just sick and my husband's gone and I feel like it might be a little bit much for my family this weekend. And it was super interesting. And I remember this. I remember exactly where I was when I got this call. And I remember thinking, no, this is totally fine.
That's
So I
okay.
responded to this sweet mama and I said, don't even worry about it. We've walked this far for this long, and every single night we've had somewhere to stay. Every single day we've had all of our needs met. We'll be totally fine. Don't worry about it. I promise.
We've come this far, so we chose into the thinking that supported us feeling really good about moving forward.
So,
Go back to there.
hold on. Okay, so what are our thoughts here? We're like, it's okay. It's 3 or 4 in the afternoon. We got a little bit of sunlight. We'll be okay. So that's where our thoughts were. So how did we feel? How do you think we felt? I heard somebody say happy.
Not terrible. We felt pretty calm.
We actually did feel pretty happy. We were kind of actually, I remember us having a conversation and being like, so what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. We'll see. Might as well just keep walking and figure it out.
So we felt okay about it, and our behavior was like, cool, we're just going to keep walking. Something's going to show up, right? It was 5 or 10 minutes after that phone call. A total stranger pulls up next to us on the side of the road. Hey, what are you guys doing? So we told her what we were walking for. I live up this way just a little bit, like maybe like half a mile, and about a block off. Hello? About a block off the road is my house. You guys want to come over for
Afternoon tea.
Thank you.
There we go. I'll just jump in. So why you figured that out? So she invited us for some afternoon tea. So we were like, heck yeah, that sounds awesome. So we finished walking to her house, met her where she said she lived, got to spend the afternoon with her. I had a conversation with my aunt before I went and joined her and Amanda in the living room. Got to tell her more about what we were doing. She invited us to a dinner at her church organization that she went to. So we went and had some dinner with her and her friends. And that led to more connections with more opportunities. And we ended up having a fantastic experience that night with very similar circumstances. But remember, our thoughts were different about the similar circumstance. And that led us to have completely different feelings throughout that experience. We acted and behaved completely different to ourselves, to the people around us, just the way we showed up.
Yeah, we didn't fight that time. We were a lot nicer.
Not at all. And then we had a much better experience. What do you know?
So there's 2 ways. So there's going to be mud. There's going to be times in your life where there's mud. There's something that you're stuck in. How does it feel? Choose in that moment how it feels.
That's a great way to check in. Sometimes there's so much going on. We have they say anywhere from 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. It's kind of hard to pay attention to all of it. And so sometimes when you are trying to figure out how to check in, where it is, sometimes the easiest way is just, how do I feel right now? What mood am I in? And that can kind of tell you maybe a little bit of the thoughts that are going on behind all of that feeling.
So when we were in Illinois, there was a lot of things on our mind, on our plate, things like that. We'd gotten rid of our camping gear. It was, we thought we had a host and then we didn't. It was late, we were tired, there were the bugs, the bad circumstances, there were all these things. And honestly, there are going to be times in your life where there's so many circumstances. You may have, thoughts that aren't super great. You might have feelings that don't, that support the thoughts, and then you'll, maybe lash out and act badly. One of the things that we did very quickly after that experience was apologizing to each other, reframing our mind, using our tools, and putting ourselves back in a better state, which, because we put ourselves back in a better state, as we kept going through those other states to Idaho, we had more and more good experiences, and realized that we were the difference between us having a good experience or a bad one. And I will note that is the exception to this rule would be extenuating circumstances, big losses, really big hardships. It's important to feel your way through those and then pick yourself back up when you're ready.
But generally on the day-to-day life, we got to remember that 80, 90+% of what we experience is the getting out of the mud, so to speak. And then very small, this much of our lives is actually accomplishing the thing you want. Like we walked for 15 months and we spent less than 45 minutes on the beach when we got there. So the journey is, and the actual accomplishments are this. So it's about checking in with the times that you're stuck in the mud, you're not where you want to be, and you're moving forward, and checking in to feel good through those times, because that's most of our life.
Okay, so this is another picture opportunity that you can write about later. Where in your life could you choose to have a good experience no matter how muddy it is?
No matter how muddy. There's, again, recap, there's two ways. I can be stuck in the mud. Dang it, I'm stuck in the mud. This is ridiculous. Where are my friends? Well, I don't even know what's going on. Or I'm stuck in the mud. Where's my friends at? I think they could help me out. What's around me? How could I get out of here? That's just a quick recap on like two different, again, there's levels to each of them and intensity to each of them, but there's two different ways to approach it. There's a non-resistance, accepting what's going on and choosing to just move forward with it, or there's all these resistant thoughts and non-acceptance of what's happening, which creates all this negative feeling and emotion, and then you know what happens from there.
Awesome. So, what can you do? What can you do now? What can you do when things are really tough? And what can you do to prepare? So these are the things that we're about to share with you. These are things we used nearly on a daily basis, if not multiple times a day, that got us to put one foot in front of the other for 15 months, guys.
And by the way, we still use these things, and you guys probably do too. We maybe give a little bit more insight on how to be really intentional about them to help you even more, but we still use these things on a daily basis. And like even just yesterday, we were getting ready for this and we had some things come up, I had some negative emotions come up, and instead of freaking out and going down the same cycle, I stopped and I applied these things that we're about to share with you and watched a shift happen, was able to move through the rest of my day and have a great day. So.
Awesome. Okay, so this is the time you want to take notes. This is the moment where you want to go, okay, there's something in my life that's important enough for me to not give up on. What can I do? This is what you do.
How do you choose hope? Yes, how do you choose hope? So I'll ask Amanda, what has one of the biggest influences on your thought and feelings?
Okay, so the question is, what has had the biggest, or one of the biggest influence on my thoughts and feelings? Do any of you guys like music? What about movies? We got some media fans in here. Okay, did you know that there's something about the way that you've got like the notes of the music connected and like the continuous stream of video that actually bypasses your filter and goes straight into your brain? So what's the fastest way for you to change your thoughts? Put on a good song. Put on a good show. You use the media that you're consuming to create for you. I like to joke that I use this tool to get my husband. So I used to have all these wonderful breakup songs that were really sad, and they made me sad. And then I started learning about this stuff, and I thought, what if this song were my life right now? Would I want it? Would I be happy with it? Some of it might sound fun for a minute, but I really didn't want to be crying at home because he left me. That sounds really, really lame, right? So instead, I put together a playlist for myself, And all the songs on my playlist were about the way I wanted my relationship to be. It was good songs about how we hung out together, how we enjoyed being around each other, how we made memories, how we were happy and adventurous and fun. Guess how long it took for me to find my person? I heard somebody say something really close over here. 3 months. 3 months.
She
and
switched to music you're listening to.
I discovered how great this guy was.
Okay, thank you. Hello. Okay, there we go. All right. The music, the videos, and the games you choose to be around. Cool. Okay, so what do you do when you have thoughts and emotions that you want to move or get out of your body?
Who in here ever has emotions that feel really big, like they're totally out of control?
Does anybody ever get in a mood and it just won't leave? Am I the only one?
You just
Okay,
get,
yes,
like,
thank you.
super
There's a bunch
grumpy
of
and you're just like, no, I'm going to stay here.
Leave me to my grumpy.
So, for me, when I have thoughts and emotions that are really in my way, I either write it out, I talk it out, I sing it out, or I move it out. Take a piece of paper, you write, I'm sad because, you write anything that comes up and you shred it. You show your brain you're letting it go.
You don't need to show anybody that paper. You can write it all out and then shred it and throw it away.
Talk it out. Talk it out is my go-to tool if I'm having a challenge with anybody that I care about, or somebody that I don't care about. If I'm having a challenge with anybody, I talk it out. I go on a walk by myself, I go somewhere by myself, and I pretend that I'm talking to that person and I just get it all out. It's super nice. You can be as mean as you want because they'll never hear it, and nobody else will either. What I found from this is that when I get it out, I either feel better and don't really have a problem with that person anymore, or I'm prepared for the time that I do end up talking with that person and we end up having a really awesome conversation.
Sweet. Thank you. So write it out, talk it out, sing it out, move it out. Woo! Okay. What helps your body and your brain work for you?
So earlier, Colton was talking about how the RAS filter helps you know whether you should be in fight or flight. What's that for, guys? For keeping you safe, right? Safety?
Survival?
Fight or flight,
Yeah, I heard
to
somebody
know if
say.
you should take on the tiger or run away from it. So,
Yeah.
did you know that when you're in fight or flight, you actually don't breathe very deeply? Your body is rerouting energy down into your legs so you can run away. So your breath gets shallow and not very deep. So one of the best things that you can do on a daily basis, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have like 4 alarms on my phone that go on throughout the day that actually tell me to stop and breathe. And I just stop and I take a really deep breath in through my nose. It gets deeper if you go through your nose. And then when I breathe out like I'm breathing through a straw, tiny and slow. So I can feel everybody getting a little fidgety in here. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do 2 breaths together. Everybody in?
From the
Okay.
belly. Not up here, bring it down from the belly.
Yeah, fill up your belly. This is like choir all over again.
That's where most of your lungs are actually at.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, I want everybody to take a deep breath in through your nose as deep as you can. Go. Good. Now breathe it out through your straw.
You can do a straw or you can do it like you're fogging up the glass.
Okay, one more deep breath in through your nose. And then we're gonna take it back out through the straw.
Or the fog, whatever you like. There's like a bajillion videos you can look on YouTube or Google, breathing patterns, breathing techniques that will help you regulate that and take your body out of fight or flight and into rest and digest, where you're relaxed and you're gonna just make better decisions, think more clearly, and be nicer to yourself and your friends.
Okay, so
breathe.
all right, so how do you access hope? Excuse me. How do you access hope now?
You guys want to hear something I learned from a really cool doctor the other day? Yeah. Does anyone know Dr. Jordan Peterson? You guys seen him on social media? I went to an event last week and he was there and it was outstanding. So if you ever get a chance to see him, do it. But he taught some really incredible things, and one of the things I want to share with you guys is one of the most practical things. He said if you want to be practical, one of the most practical things you can do is create a vision. And so that's what we're talking about here, is how do you access hope now, is creating intention and a vision. So take anything in your life that you want it to be different, you want it to transform, you want it to get better, you want it to be not there, then create an intention. And I would suggest even writing it down. That's the best way to do it. Get really clear and write down what it is you want it to look like. Take the time to describe the relationship you want, or how you want to show up, or the grades you want to have with ease, or how you want to show up in your sport team or the chess club, or however that looks like. Get very, very descriptive, because clarity with your intention, holding that, knowing exactly what it is with a lot of clarity and knowing what it is literally what brings you the chemistry of hope into your body.
So, I want to recap what he said in a really simple way. When we were on the walk, we had to keep inspiring ourselves to move forward. We had to keep hoping that, what we were moving towards was worth it. Does anybody like pie? I got some pie lovers in here. So you can actually do this on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be big. It can be something as small as pie. But sometimes I go, you know what? I bet if I get all the way to that tiny town, they're gonna have a cafe and I'm gonna get some pie. You gotta give yourselves hope.
And sometimes pie wasn't there, but maybe a piece of cake, and it was pretty good too.
Okay, this is the big one. If all else fails, if you are feeling a lot of things, you're not sure how to get out of it, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling isolated, whatever it is, if all else fails, find somebody to serve and be grateful for something right now. I remember walking down the side of the road, exhausted, needing a nap, super pregnant, probably had to pee again, and I had to get my mind right to keep going. And I started to be grateful for all of the teeny tiny flowers on the side of the road. Guys, you don't know this whipping down the interstate, but there are little blue and white and yellow flowers all the way along those roads. Super pretty, loved it. And then serving somebody. Even if you don't know what to do, go out and pick up some trash. Anything that's serving somebody or something more than you is going to help you feel better. It will. It always will.
Where'd you go?
I don't know.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Okay.
That was awesome. Thank you. We have just a tiny bit more.
Okay, so not sure what's going on with our last slide, but we want to invite you guys to go journal about those things, take some of those steps. I'm gonna put them back up there. Take one of these steps, write them down, keep them handy. Tell your friend what you chose to do for you today, because when you take care of you, you're taking care of other people as well. We want to thank you for letting us be here. It's been awesome.
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad that, these things are simple. Does everybody like to hear that helping us feel good more regularly and having more hope can be simple. But remember, what is simple to do is simple not to do. So remember to take these steps, try that journaling technique. I hope you guys have gotten a picture of this so you can try these things later and enjoy and watch how it can improve the quality of how you feel on a daily basis. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thank you, Warriors.
Thanks, buddy.